What's going on, everyone? So, today is a Luka Doncic extension day. Not when he's going to sign the extension, though, unfortunately, because Luka Doncic won't be in LA until tomorrow. And tomorrow, the 3rd, is when he's expected to sign the extension. But he officially becomes extension eligible today. A couple things. One, don't panic, right? Because I'm sure you're going to hear a lot of news about Luka extension eligible, and there may be some random reports or whatever that are like, oh, he hasn't signed today. Like, again, he's not signing till tomorrow. He is expected to sign the 4-year, $229 million extension, and he's supposed to sign it tomorrow because he's currently on tour with the Jordan Brand 101 tournament, right? So keep those things in mind because, again, you get people that want to just send stuff out and say whatever, right? But the reason I want to talk about this today is because tomorrow's going to be a very interesting kind of reveal, I guess. Because two things are going to happen. Either A, because I do think, again, he signs the extension. Technically, 3 things could happen. He not sign the extension. I just don't think that that's an option. I think he's going to sign the extension. I mean, his coach in Slovenia said he's going to sign his extension. So I'm pretty confident he's going to sign his extension. However, right, let's assume, go under that assumption that he's going to sign the extension. 2 options. One, he signs the 4-year, $229 million extension, which is what's being reported, which would be huge for the Lakers on several fronts. One, gives you and ensures that you have him at least an extra year. 2, you technically would have him on a discount because he could, on year 3, if he goes the other route, which we'll touch on here in a moment, could opt out and then go and sign a new contract with you, and you'd have to pay him, $70+ million on the next contract rather than $50 million. Like this first year, after this year, the first year would be something like, I think it's like 49 to 51 million, somewhere in that range would be year 1, right? But he would start that next season. So bare minimum, you have him 4 more years, right? Because chances are that 4th and final year on that extension is probably a player option. But what that does is that gives you a cheaper rate on him as his contract, 1, potentially 2 years. 2, it ensures that you get him at least 1 more year longer, and which could be the difference between you making moves and, winning multiple championships or not, right? Like my concern is, however, is which route do the Lakers take if that happens? My hope is that now incentivizes the Lakers and gives them confidence of like, we got Luka and he's locked up, let's get to work. And they do whatever it takes to win. I mean, Luka's people said he wants to win now, right? He doesn't want to win 3 years from now. He wants to win now. Go win a championship right now. My hope is that Luka signs that extension. Now the Lakers have the confidence and are inspired to go and make trades and do whatever. Again, I'm not saying that they should go and make the first trade available or anything like that, but I could see, and I've talked about this, Luka's contract being the first kind of domino. Get him locked up because we don't want to go and sell the farm and then he ends up leaving or not signing the extension or something like that, because that could change everything, right? So again, I think getting Luka signed would give the Lakers that confidence they need to now go and be more aggressive is probably the better approach. My concern is the Lakers get complacent and think like, okay, job done. Good job, everyone. Drinks on me tonight. Put your legs up, kick back, rather than understanding the urgency, right? Luka throwing you a bone, and instead of you going like, hey, let's go make that punch, right? They look at it as like, all right, we're good. We're good. We got 4 years. Why do we need to win now? Take our time. Don't need to rush. Jeannie, where are you running to? Get back here. Let's chill, right? Like, that's my concern, right? So hopefully it's the latter where it's like, hey, we're not going, or not the latter, where it's like, hey, we're not going that route. We're going to ensure that we're going to do whatever's necessary in order to make that happen, right? That's my hope with the Lakers and Luka signing that extension, particularly that 4-year extension. Now, the other option is what was originally thought and reported, which actually made the most sense, which was Luka signing a 3-year deal, because that third year could be a player option. And with that third year being a player option, he can opt out and will be 10 years, which he'll get a larger cap percentage. So basically the money that he'd get at the end of the 4-year deal, he would get after technically 2 more years, right? Because he could opt out and then go do it because he'd be going into his 10th year. So my concern is that, like, he does do that. I mean, it's not a concern, but in all honesty, there is an argument to be made that the Lakers should maybe do, or Luka should maybe do that to kind of push and force the Lakers, right? Because if you go and do that, now it puts the pressure on the Lakers of like, hey, he can leave in 2 years if you don't do what you're supposed to do, right? But I don't know if he would necessarily put the pressure on the Lakers. I just think he'd sign that to go get the new extension, right? Sign that to get the max money. Now, that's still very much on the table. That's, again, just because the conversation and the reports are, hey, he's going to sign this, this 4-year max extension, doesn't mean that he will, right? He'll sign the max, but he might not necessarily sign the 4-year max. So if Luka does sign that 4 years, that is throwing the Lakers a major bone. Not just a little one, a major bone. Because, again, you'd have him cheaper than you normally would have otherwise. You'd have him cheaper than the Dallas Mavericks would have had him. Right? So it's up to you at that point if Luka is willing to do that and sacrifice. Because that's what he'd be doing. He'd be sacrificing basically $20 million. I mean, granted, he's already sacrificed a lot more than that, like $50 million. But is he willing to sacrifice an extra $20 million? Right? Like, again, risks, all kinds of stuff happens. Right? He'd be throwing the Lakers a major bone. And not just that, but not only would he be throwing them a bone financially to help cap space free up, and you got to keep in mind the cap space raises each year, right? So that contract's going to only be more and more valuable, right? Which he could, this is, I guess an argument could be made for this, is if he does the 4-year deal with the 3 years and then the opt-out in the 4th year, then he'd get even more money than he would otherwise, right? Because like he could do the 2 years and then he'd lock in that contract in year 3 where he'd get an extra year, but the cap keeps rising each year. So it might actually be in his best interest to do that, right? It's not something that I've heard anybody talk about and mention, but it's just something that kind of popped in my head just now where it was like, well, I guess that makes sense too, that they could do that. But I digress. We'll see again what the contract is. But like I said, if he signed that 4-year deal, he'd be throwing the Lakers a huge bone. It gives them flexibility, gives them the potential to go make other moves with the cap continuing to rise. That contract's only going to get better and better. You can, if LeBron ends up departing and you have all this cap space stuff, that's great, but you need to do something with it. Lakers need to make sure that they're doing what they're supposed to be doing. Lakers need to make sure that they are, putting the best team out there possible on a yearly basis. Again, I'm okay with the Lakers being patient. I'm okay with the Lakers waiting for those right trades, waiting for those right moves. You don't have to just go jump on the first trade that becomes available. Take your time. It's a progress, right? And I get that, but I hope that the Lakers don't think like, oh, Luka bailed us out. Good job, everybody. Like that's where my dilemma lies. Right? I'm hoping that if Luka does throw them that bone, they take that as a, hey, we need to do right by him. He's doing right by us. He's putting in the work in the offseason. He's working his tail off. He's, grinding and losing weight and doing all this stuff and, sculpting his body and on the cover of Men's Health and all of these things. Right? He's doing all of these things. And then on top of all of that, he signs that extra year minimum to where you're going to have him now, bare minimum, 4 years, right? So you're going to have him for a good majority of his prime. And then you're not going to do right by him? Like, that's my concern, is that the Lakers, I hope they take that as like, all right, this is our Luca's doing good for us, so we need to make sure we're doing good for him. Again, I'll help you. You help me. I want to win, especially at this stage of Luca's career. You know what he needs more than anything right now, more than money, more than anything, is a championship. Right? Like, that will probably make him more money long term if he goes and wins a championship than otherwise, right? Because, again, he's a competitor. You don't think he wants to win? You don't think this guy wants to show everybody and flip everybody the bird and let them all know, like, hey, I'm here? It's the best way to do that. Win an NBA championship. As soon as he gets that one, and if he wins that in this stretch, I mean, Dallas is going to look foolish, unless Dallas wins one in that stretch, but Dallas will look foolish and, oh my God, Luka, like, Lakers got him on a discount, the narrative will be completely different, and it'll be great to watch. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion. Pass a question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot as we enjoy these types of videos. Truly appreciate it. Not subscribe channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one.